All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how the Israelites are going to be the only nation that's going to be free from the from the chains of sinning, man. Right? They're going to be the only nation that's free from being wicked, right? And I'm going to use the prophet Esdras to prove my point, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 48. O Adam, what hast thou done? For it was thou that sinned. Thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come from thee. Right? Now, before that point's made, I'm going to read the scripture before that, verse 46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for men now in the present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O Adam, what hast thou done? For it was thou that sinned. Thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. Now, ultimately, nobody can try and blame Adam alone for sinning, because we also know that we've sinned in our lifetimes too, according to the law, right? And before the kingdom comes, we'll still have committed sins before that too, man. And if anybody says that they're not, right, well, they're a liar, man. Anybody that's saying that they're not a sinner and that they don't sin anymore, they're a liar. And I would love to see how they're somehow managing to keep all the laws in a kingdom that's the worst kingdom ever. That's designed to make it not possible to keep Yahweh's laws. Now, it says in the scripture that I just read in verse 47, 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 47, after death to look for punishment. And it also says that all come from Adam, right? But we didn't fall alone, right? That everyone that came from Adam fell alone. But it also says in verse 46 that to be restrained from sinning, man. Now, which nation is it that's been promised to be restrained from sinning? Because it's a known concept that everyone says that we're all come from Adam, right? But so what? Because we're not all chosen. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Now, the world was ultimately made for the sakes of the Israelites, man. Right? Verse 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, that was said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and as liken the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So all the other nations are considered to one bitter drops, or the bitter drops that have escaped. If you might be taking a water out of a bucket from a well or something, the extra bit that escapes, man. Right? It's not really, if you had a big meal and a few peas fell off the plate, you ain't gonna care. But if the whole lamb or the main protein portion fell off the plate, you're gonna be angry, man. Verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which thou have ever reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us, and it's even worse in this time now. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. And that's right, man, and that's still present now. So what Ezra was saying back then, it's still present now, even worse so, man. It's even worse now. If the world now been made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And to answer that question, not much longer, man. This ain't going to be going on for much longer, where the heathen nations are going to just be ruling over us, because it's almost time for the changeover, man. Right? It's almost time for the changeover, because this kingdom's wicked works have almost been fulfilled, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 6. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works have fulfilled. So it's almost over for this kingdom, man. It's almost time. There's a few more wickednesses that they have to make legal. And once they've made these things legal, man, after that it's over for them. There's going to be a certain thing that they're going to make legal, and there's going to be certain that's going to give them boldness to think that they can try and execute their new world order, right? to execute their kingdom, to try and bring in their kingdom. And when it takes place, that's when Yahweh's going to cast them down, man. When they're about to fill their belly, then the Lord's going to bring them down, right? Now, in terms of being free from sinning, the only people that's going to be free from sinning, right, are going to be the Israelites. And there's many other scriptures I could use to prove this, but I'm just going to go to one of the ones that I like to go to, man, right? I like this. I like this scripture a lot, man, because it cuts anything that these Christians say. It shuts their whole thing down, man. I've never seen a slippery Christian be able to crawl their way out of this scripture that I'm about to read right now. I've never seen it. Whenever it gets read, they always show themselves to be unlearned, man. Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 10. For this is the covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. I'll read it again. For this is the covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And there's many other places in the scriptures. There's many other places in the scriptures where it speaks about this new covenant, man. But it speaks about it in different wording, but it's always to the Israelites. It either will call it the everlasting covenant. It will talk about getting a new spirit and a new mind, and it will always, or the majority of the times, it will go back to that point of Yahweh saying He's going to be our God, and that we're going to be His people, man. And but these Christians, they don't understand the Bible ultimately, because they cannot find what I just read there in Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 10. They cannot find that written to any other nation by name. They can't find it. They have to instead try and install themselves into where it's mentioned this for Israel, but they can't find it mentioned to whatever nation they say they belong to, or they can't find it even written and it's been spoken of to Greeks or to Gentiles, because it's not for them. Because the whole Bible in its entirety has always been to the Israelites, and has always been from the perspective of the Israelites. Is you've never seen any part in the Bible that's written about what the Edomites were doing without any Israelites being there. You've never seen this. It don't happen, man. But I'm gonna end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.